Okay, so Dennis Schroder late. Really good point guard, but not an all-star by any stretch. Had some disappointing moments for the Lakers this year. Had an up and down season. Wasn't that good in the playoffs. How much did he tell me he wants in free agency? 100 to 120 million. Okay, okay. But this is Dennis Schroder, right? This is the guy who isn't an all-star. Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's the Dennis Schroder who just played for the Lakers, who was up and down season, not an all-star, but he wants more than Fred VanVleet, Malcolm Brogdon. Yep, yep. Okay, noted, noted. Schroder, that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, and his absolutely obscene, at least in my opinion, salary demands of $100 to $125 million on his contract and free agency this year. I want to be talking about how can he even think he deserves such a number, and some of the comparable contracts across the league that just shows that he is nowhere near worth that type of money, in my opinion. That being said, if you guys do go on and enjoy the video, feel free to let me know down in the comment section what you guys think Dennis Schroder is actually worth this summer and some of the places he could go. But let's just jump right into it. And we're just going to talk a little bit about Dennis Schroder's past season with the LA Lakers. So, as I mentioned, Dennis Schroder did have an up and down season with the Lakers. Now, he did end up getting the virus towards the end of the season, which of course did not help things. Put him into a bit of a rut, no doubt, going into the playoffs as far as his health, his conditioning, and just his overall potential rust on the basketball court. But his three-point shooting was up and down across the year. His production from a scoring standpoint was just up and down. He had some stretches of the year where he was a really good third piece for them, and other stretches of the year where he just went absolutely silent. Which is your starting point guard who's looking for 100 to 125 million, presumably on a 5-year deal. If he wants that on a 4-year deal, he's absolutely insane. Then you just can't have that. You just can't have that level of inconsistency. Your guards need to be that high level of consistency on the scoring end of the ball if they're going to be paid that type of money, or they need to be an absolutely insane creator and defender, which Schroder is not. He's a decent playmaker. He is an okay defender. I wouldn't call him elite on the defensive end. I wouldn't call him an elite playmaker. He's only averaged over 6 assists per game twice in his career, and that was in the last 2 years he started previous to LA in Atlanta. And not that the assist numbers tell everything about playmaking, but he's not that high level of playmaker. He's not Chris Paul, Mike Conley, Kyle Lowry, one of those elite playmakers in the league, Trae Young, Steph Curry, those types of guys. He doesn't have that level of playmaking. So my question is, how does he evaluate himself so highly? So that's why we're going to talk about some of the potential comparables in the league as far as average per year. Now, we are going to assume that Schroder's demands are on a 5-year deal with him returning to the Lakers. I find it hard to believe that he imagines he's going to get, like, a 4-year deal where he's going to get that type of money. I'm assuming it's going to be a 5-year deal, 20 to 25 million, not a 4-year deal where he's getting like 25 to 30 million. If he thinks that, then we have to have a whole other discussion, because then he's in, like, Damian Lillard, Kyle Lowry type pay range, which is absurd. But let's just look at it on a 5-year deal, and let's say he's getting 20 to 25 million a year. That's what he's asking for, right? Malcolm Brogdon, 21 million. Fred VanVleet, 21 million. Terry Rozier, 19 million. Goran Dragic on his 1-year deal last year, 18 million. Derek White, 17.5. And then you're getting into Eric Bledsoe at 17.5, which was an overpay. Dennis Schroder's last deal was 17.5 million. Rubio at 17, Fultz at a bit under 17, and DeJounte Murray at 16. Those are the players within that type of pay range. And so let's just give a bit of a discussion about all of these. And let's keep in mind, Dennis Schroder's low point that he's asking for is 20 million per year. So his low point is a bit below Fred VanVleet and a bit above Terry Rozier, up almost as high, 3 million below an annual salary of what Damian Lillard is currently getting per year. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind. So Malcolm Brogdon, he's currently getting paid $21.25 a year on his 4-year deal that he signed as a sign and trade for the Milwaukee Bucks. And Malcolm Brogdon is a significantly better player, in my opinion, than Dennis Schroder is. His three-point shot, of course, is much, much better. I'd say their playmaking isn't really much different. There's much more athleticism in Dennis Schroder, but I'd say Malcolm Brogdon is a better on-ball guard, an on-ball defensive guard. I think there's very few things that Dennis Schroder does better than Malcolm Brogdon, other than that athleticism and maybe his ability to get to the rim. But Brogdon can use his angles and his strength to be able to get to the rim quite well as well. And then you're moving on to someone like Fred VanVleet. My opinion, again, a much, much better player than Dennis Schroder. One of the most underrated defensive guards in the league, in my opinion. One of the best defensive guards in the league. Always tops in the leagues in steals, deflections, can draw some charges for you. He can also be quite inconsistent. And he's definitely more of a shooting guard, in my opinion, than a point guard. But he's definitely still a very good scorer. He's not a great playmaker, which is one of the main reasons I think he should be a shooting guard. But he's so good defensively. He can get to and finish at the rim well. A very good shooter. Can make some very clutch shots for you. Fred VanVleet's definitely an improvement over Terry Rozier. Over Dennis Schroder. But I would also say Terry Rozier is also an improvement over Dennis Schroder. He knows how to score the basketball. He does. He just knows how to score the basketball extremely well. He's also, I believe, a couple of years younger than Dennis Schroder. He is by a few years. Terry Rozier just knows how to score the basketball in many different ways at a higher level than Dennis Schroder ever has been and probably ever will be able to. Point blank simple as that. Neither are great playmakers. Neither are insane defenders, although Terry Rozier can put in some pretty good defensive shifts when he wants to. And so those are the three that are at 21.2, 21.2, and 18.9 million. Everyone else is 2.5 or more below the lowest asking point that Dennis Schroder wants. Derek White, you could argue is better than Schroder. I'd probably say isn't, but you can make the argument. Goran Dragic, same thing. You can make the argument. Eric Bledsoe definitely isn't, but that was just a bad contract by Milwaukee. Ricky Rubio, again, bad contract. Markelle Fultz, if he can stay healthy at the back end of his contract, maybe better than Dennis Schroder. DeJounte Murray, I would definitely argue is better than DeJounte Murray, and he's making $16 million a year. Given that was on a bridge deal, weren't really sure where his value was after some injuries early on in his career. But he's one of the best defensive guards in the league. He's very long. His shot making has drastically improved. And so, if I'm Dennis Schroder, where's 20 to 25 million coming? Because if he's getting over 21.25 million, based on salary comparables in this league, he is saying that he is better than Terry Rozier, Fred VanVleet, and Malcolm Brogdon, and a significant level above them, but not far off Damian Lillard, Kyle Lowry, Mike Conley, Jamal Murray, De'Aaron Fox type levels. Just think about that for a second. Just think about that. Now, obviously, he's trying to secure his bag. He's going to ask for a high price going into negotiations. But 20 to 25 million a season for Dennis Schroder, there is no shot. There is no shot that he gets that in free agency. And if anyone does give him that, then I guarantee you, within 2 to 3 months of him signing that, I will be making a video about that being one of the worst signings in the past year's free agency. Guaranteed. I can guarantee it to you already. I don't think the Lakers are going to give him this contract. They quite simply don't have the cap flexibility to make such a signing if they want to be intelligent about how they're going to move their salary pieces moving forward. And so he's going to be a 4-year deal, which is going to put him down to more like 80 to 90 million, which is a bit more reasonable, but it's still the same annual term. I struggle to imagine that Dennis Schroder is going to get this type of money in free agency, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I think it's a very aggressive, lofty move for Schroder to start asking for this much money, and I hope for his sake that this is just him trying to bring his value up and not him actually believing he's going to get this money. Because if he thinks he can get upwards of 22, 23, 24 million, he is going to be sadly disappointed in this year's free agency. There is a large demand for point guards, but there's also a large supply of point guards in this year's free agency market. And I don't think Dennis Schroder is going to be one of the names highest up on most teams' lists, especially at that price point. That being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are one of the fastest growing NBA content channels on the platform, and so all the support is greatly appreciated. If you guys do enjoy, let me know what videos you would like to see coming up next as we move through the offseason, any potential free agents that could be moving or trades. And I will be doing offseason preview videos for every team as we continue through the offseason as we approach the draft. I've done quite a few already throughout many teams in the league, and I will be continuing to do so, as I said, up until draft night. That being said, feel free to check my link tree down in the description down below if you want to join me at any other socials. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.